we got more news to get to, and I just want to note one more time that Revolution, AEW's first pay-per-view of 2023, will take place on Sunday, March 5th, live on pay-per-view, and is headlined by the first AEW Iron Man match between American Dragon Bryan Danielson and World Champion MJF. 60 minutes. It never felt so long. But we start tonight with the reason why the rematch is taking place on a Toronto house show between Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn, as the original match was supposed to be Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a tag team match. But there's two reasons why it's not taking place. And reason number one is the fact that Sami and Kevin have not reunited on television yet. I wonder if that means that is still the plan, to go with Kevin and Sami on television. Or if WWE's changing plans now also to hold off on Kevin and Sami reuniting. Or the other reason played more of a part in it, and the other reason is because they thought that Sami versus Roman in a rematch for the Universal Championship would be a match that sold more tickets and that people would be more interested in watching than a tag team match with Solo and Roman against Kevin and Sami. And I think that the latter is true, that the tag team match, though a good match, though a solid match, and would be one that people would be excited to see, it is more likely that people would be more excited to see Roman versus Sami again for the Universal Championship, especially when they're up in Canada. I would agree with the guys over at Cultaholic, though, that I hope that this is WWE will take advantage of being in Sami's hometown and have something happen to further the Bloodline storyline at the house show. This way, basically film something that they can then use for TV, because it feels like having this match on a house show is you're losing your opportunity to put together some sort of a big moment in terms of furthering the story somehow. But that's just me, and we'll have to wait and see, because I do believe that house show in particular is either taking place on March 4th or March 5th. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it is taking place this weekend either way, so I will be giving you guys an update at some point on that situation. Speaking of an update, William Regal, we got an update on William Regal's new role within WWE, and that is that Regal is at every event and provides insight and advice to talent on how to make their matches look more realistic. Basically advice on something on thing. I swear I know how to speak. Regal is there to offer advice on things that WWE superstars sometimes ignore, and that is the basics. That is he offers suggestions, he offers advice on how to make lockups look more snug and how to make everything look more realistic and where it just looks better. And if there's anybody that can help provide insight into that and offer advice to talent on how to make things look better in the ring and look more realistic to where it's not as phony as Jim Cornette would say, it is, in fact, William Regal. So I think Regal is in a perfect spot to offer advice and to help new talent, the next generation, get better. Because if there's anybody that knows the basics and knows how to help and offer advice on that matter, it is William Regal. FTR are, according to a rumor, and I think this might be a spoiler for the pay-per-view if this is the case, unless they have a different plan, FTR are still rumored to be the team that will dethrone the Guns for the tag team titles in AEW. Again, if this is the case, then that kind of spoils the pay-per-view, because unless the Guns will win back the championships or end up winning back the tag team championships, then technically this will spoil the pay-per-view, because right now FTR have either issues with Tony Khan or maybe issues with AEW, because fact of the matter is FTR won some awards, as both PW Insider and Wrestling Observer Newsletter put out their year-end awards for 2022, and FTR were the only ones to not be acknowledged by AEW when AEW put out the acknowledgement to the winners from AEW on the 2022 awards. They acknowledged the Briscoes, they acknowledged Jon Moxley, they acknowledged others, but they did not acknowledge FTR, which is crazy considering the fact that FTR and the Briscoes won the feud of the year. I don't know if this is, adding to the return storyline. Maybe FTR and Tony Khan worked out something to where FTR may just end up working some more independent dates and they won't actually end up leaving AEW. But if FTR are going to be the ones to dethrone the Guns, then I think it is more than possible for that to happen. But I also think that they need to figure out how to get the Guns to Double or Nothing then. Because if they get to Double or Nothing, then that would be enough as far as getting FTR in a position where they can win back the titles, because that would be a month after FTR was supposedly going to leave. But right now, I don't know if FTR is in a position where they are willing to stay in AEW, because it seems like either they're working everybody and everything's fine, or everything's not fine and they got and FTR and AEW have a problem. I just kicked a referee. So I think that's an interesting story that we have to watch, because if they are working us, then, well, God bless them, to be honest with you. God bless them. Props to them for being able to do that. But either way, we got to keep an eye on that, because apparently the rumor is FTR will be the ones to dethrone the Guns and get their win back, as the Guns defeated the FTR. The Guns defeated FTR before FTR took their hiatus from AEW. We got Brock Lesnar news to come, but a little bit more news to get to before then, and that is Sonya Deville is having some legal trouble. Nothing crazy, nothing serious, but Sonya Deville was pulled over, and I guess I think it's just a ticket. I don't know if she got arrested. I don't know what gun laws are in New Jersey, but she has a license to carry in the state of Florida. She had a license to carry. She's been carrying a gun, according to Fightful, since the stalker break-in issues that she had last year. Or, I don't think it was last year, actually. I think it was a few years ago. Which it is a travesty. It is completely horrible what happened to her a few years ago. And I completely understand why she's carrying. I completely understand her need to protect herself and all that stuff. And I feel horrible that she went through that and that happened to her, but I completely understand why she is in the position that I completely understand it, but the gun laws are not the same in every state. And gun laws, I know, in states like Florida or Texas are a lot more relaxed than they are in other states. And the fact of the matter is, I think that is the one reason why she was in trouble or had some legal trouble in the state of New Jersey, because the state of New Jersey does not have the same type of gun laws as the state of Florida does. Simple as that. But I hope everything is good with Sonya Deville and that she does not have any serious issues when it comes to that, because I completely understand the need to carry a gun when she's gone through what she's gone through. But either way, I wish nothing but the best for her, because she is a very skilled, skilled member of the WWE roster, and nobody deserves to go through what she went through. Simple as that. Nobody deserves to have gone through what she's gone through. But now we move to WrestleMania, a bit more WrestleMania news before we go, and that is that Brock Lesnar rejected the idea of working with Bray Wyatt. Brock at one point was offered Bobby Lashley, Steve Austin, Gunther, and Bray Wyatt, and according to the report, the only person that Brock rejected to work with was Bray Wyatt. And the reason, I'm guessing, is because of Bray Wyatt's, spooky bullocks, and just Bray Wyatt being Bray Wyatt. The fact of the matter is, in my opinion, though a lot of people would be excited to see Bray and Brock work together, it just doesn't fit. Bray's character and Brock's character don't fit. I know that The Undertaker is, basically, Bray Wyatt is The Undertaker. Bray Wyatt is not The Undertaker. Bray Wyatt has a similar gimmick to The Undertaker, with the spooky shit, but he is not The Undertaker. Also, when Brock and The Undertaker worked together, Brock had respect for The Undertaker. I'm not saying Brock does not respect Bray Wyatt, but Taker is not Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt is not The Undertaker. It's not the same thing. I understand why Brock may not have wanted to work with Gunther, why he may not have wanted to work with Bobby Lashley, but the fact that Brock agreed to work with Omos, I guess it kind of points to the idea of Brock trying to make a WrestleMania moment, F5ing Omos, because that is the only legitimate reason I could see Brock Lesnar and Omos taking place, for the idea that there will be a WrestleMania moment to come out of that situation or come out of that match. But either way, it's an interesting story. It's an interesting concept. I don't blame Brock for not wanting to work with Bray. If Bray was a little bit more stable in his character and his booking, maybe. But the fact of the matter is, right now, it was not the right time. And I think that a feud between those two would be just a little bit difficult, because also Brock would have to lose to Bray. In the position that Bray is in right now, Brock would have to lose. But a match against Omos, Brock doesn't necessarily have to lose. And I think you need to get Brock some wins if Brock's going to stay around or stick around. Either way, though, let me know down in the comment section below what your thoughts on Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania match are, and anything else that we talked about in this video. With that being said, though, it is it for the news cycle today, and I will see you in the next video.